Hey guys, I'm Tim.
And I'm Ted.
Welcome to the Board Game Rundown. Today we're going to talk about some Kickstarters, some news, and then get into a couple topics, whatever pops into our head.
Sounds great.
All right, man. First, coming up, I'm excited. If you are in the northern Indiana, southern Michigan region, our board game group, the M.E.E.P.L.E Game Society, is having a 3-day board game M.E.E.P.L.E weekend. We're kind of celebrating our 1-year anniversary of actually being a nonprofit organization. And
It's been a year already?
It's been a year. Like, we became a nonprofit like last June, but we first started having these meetups like late March last year. So we're celebrating. We're having a raffle. We're doing a trade table. It's all 3 days. It's free to attend. If you bring a non-perishable food item, you'll get a free raffle ticket. Otherwise, you can buy raffle tickets. Find us on Facebook. We are the M.E.E.P.L.E Game Society. We just did a Protospiel. That was awesome. Ted was there. Man Designs Games. And we had a really good time. It was really successful.
Oh, yeah. That was an awesome event. I thought for South Bend's first event.
First event.
We had like 40 plus people there on Saturday. So that's pretty impressive, I'd say.
Yeah, we're talking about already, if we don't do another one later this year, we will definitely have one next year.
Great.
So we got a lot of things in the works, whether it's like a 1-day kind of pop-up event, like where we do like a mini Protospiel, or whether we just go, you know what, we're going to do a whole 3-day shebang again. We've got surveys that'll be going out to the people that attended. You'll get one. And we'll kind of gauge feedback and go from there.
I think it'll just grow and grow and grow.
It'll be awesome. That's what I hope.
It will.
I talked about it last week. I got to play a bunch of games in various levels of production. Some were very close to Kickstarter. Some were just like, why isn't this a real game yet? Like yours specifically. My daughter was bonkers for it. And
there's some pretty great games, and there always is at Protospiel.
Yeah.
That's the awesome thing about Protospiel, is there's designers from all over this area that, it just makes them, get that extra push to get some stuff designed and bring it in.
And I will tell you, man, I was really impressed with how nice and gracious and like eager like all these designers were. Like all these guys were so friendly, and all these people were like just happy to be there and kind of participate. I had an awesome time. So anyways, a M.E.E.P.L.E weekend, it's our next big event. Hopefully you can come out, check it out, play some games, bring some of your games, get something off your shelf of shame. That's what I do at these events. I'm like,
it's a good idea, really.
Like,
yeah.
I haven't been able to play this yet, but if I show up at a convention, somebody will play this. And I just set it up, and I'm like, hey, who wants to play this with me? Somebody will sit down and play.
I've already talked to people in our gaming group from the Niles area, and they've already said they're going to be down at least one day. So
that's it.
I bet it'll be a big event.
If we do all right. We do all right. So we're hoping. But anyways, enough about my local stuff. We're going to talk about a couple of big Kickstarters, or maybe small Kickstarters. I guess I got a big one and a small one that I can talk about. We might have some overlap. We kept it fresh.
Yeah.
So we didn't discuss. So I'll start with one and then we'll go to yours.
Okay.
And if mine's on your list, you can tell me it's on your list and I'll go to my other one. So the first one I've got is the Merlin Big Box.
No.
Okay.
No, that's not on my list.
So Merlin is like an older I think it's a Steffenfeld game. It was out of print for a little while. They're Queen Games. So Queen Games does this thing now where they do their big box version of their game. And so they reprint like one of their evergreen classic games, and then they put all their expansions in that box with it. And they just call it their big box, right? I've got the Fresco big box, but there's like an Orleans big box and an Alhambra big box. And Queen Game, the interesting thing and sort of the good thing if you like these games is that these games, they're pretty much all ready to go. Like if you back this Kickstarter, you're getting this game in October, November. Like it is going to be
so it's like it's already like pretty much pre-production.
Queen Games essentially uses Kickstarter as a pre-order system, kind of like CMON.
Okay.
CMON's almost always got their stuff pretty much finished by the time.
That's always a good thing on some of these Kickstarter games when you get them like immediately.
Well, and
instead of waiting like 3 years.
And I have waited like 3 years for some things.
I still waiting for one.
Yeah. So, anyways, the Merlin Big Box, they're upgrading the components. It comes with like 3, maybe 4 expansions in it. It's going to be a big one. It's already funded beyond belief. There's all kinds of different backer levels. It's going to make a lot of money. It was a very, very, very popular game. A lot of people are going to be excited to see it come back. And I know that there's purists out there that like their old school games with their basic. I don't want to sound derogatory towards like sort of the basic components, but where it's just cubes and like very plain. But like they've upgraded, so it's not like there's miniatures and stuff, but they're more like shaped buildings and shaped meeples.
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah. Merlin looks pretty cool. So if you like Arthurian legend, so on and so forth. All right, so what do you got for us, Ted?
Okay. My first one I saw was called Beards and Beyond RPG. I gotta go with.
I feel like you're mocking me. I can't. This is as good as it gets.
And it says enter the Whiskerverse. And it is the funniest intro video I've seen on there. It's like a 29-page RPG.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to dig a little deeper and see.
Okay. So
I don't do a lot of RPGs. I've done a few, but the
beard one might get you.
Might get hooked.
I could see why it appeals.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had like a bald one, like I might be into that. I think I could rock that one. But
hey, Protospiel is coming up next year.
Yeah, I got to do my baldy game. Make everybody feel bad for having hair.
Well, that was like the first one that popped up on Kickstarter.
Sure.
When I did the scroll.
You got a few more than I do, so give me another one.
Well, you already talked about Marvel United. I thought that would be awesome. My son loves Marvel.
So is that something you're gonna back?
I don't know. I was on the, my finger was on the. Yeah. I'm gonna click it, and it's not. It's like $60 for the core, so.
Right, and then
it's kind of on the fringe of.
And you get all
$40-ish.
You get all the Kickstarter exclusive stuff, which is nice.
And then you could go for $30 more, and you get there's 33 minis.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I'd like to paint minis though. That's like one of my favorite things to do.
That's the black hole. That's where they get you. Is they're like, hey man, look, you can get this awesome game for $60 or $50, right? And then they're like, but if you spend $30 more, we've got this other box full of stuff for you.
I think that was Dan. Wasn't that on Dan's list last week?
Yeah,
I think it was.
So
I don't know. I'm on the fence on that one. Let's see what else we got.
Yeah,
we can move on to something else.
Oh, dude, Gladius.
I told you, Gladius.
Yeah, Gladius looks kind of neat.
It's a $25 core game, so I'm like, that's doable.
Right, right. They do have deluxe editions on there. Also, you can back, but you can get just the regular.
It looked pretty cool. It's a bluffing game, and
right.
I couldn't really get the gist. Some other people at the table are playing against you with tokens.
Right.
It's kind of that's kind of what I saw from reading the description. But I was like,
the nice thing though is that looks unique, right? It's not oh, this is just that, but with a gladiator.
Yeah, I've never seen that kind of a mechanic where and there's a death token or something too. You play. So I was like, that's a pretty cool mechanic.
I would definitely say check out Gladius. I mean, everybody that is going to check out Marvel United has already checked it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to see it regardless, whatever we say. The Simon zombies, and I'm one of them sometimes, but the Simon zombies are going after those big boys anyways. But I like some of the smaller ones,
Yeah, I think they're unusual. Some Kickstarters they're just always hit or miss, but that one looked pretty solid. So.
Yeah, no, and it's doing really well. It's already funded. It's gonna happen. The other there was a weird small one that I found, and I'm sort of hypocritical, I guess, because I really enjoy short, fast-paced games a lot. But I can also sit down and play a 3-hour game of Star Wars Rebellion with somebody if I really like the game. I can sit and dig into a nice big heavy game that takes a long time. So there was this game though that looks like it takes less than 10 minutes to play, called Zombie Pile-Up. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see that one.
So it's kind of unique in the way that it's technically a 1v1 game, but you need a dealer. So
you need 3 people then?
You need 3 people.
Okay.
And I think what you have to do is you have to play in like multiple rounds. So you're scoring points. So that way, like, everybody takes turns being the dealer.
Okay, I gotcha.
So the dealer basically deals out a card with a zombie on it. And that zombie's got a symbol on their card. You have to, like, if you and I are playing and like the dealer's sitting here, you and I then, as soon as that card goes down on the table, we have to play the card with the matching symbol as fast as we can on top of that zombie.
From your
card.
hand.
Yes, from our hand.
So whoever's the first one defeated the
so
zombie.
we both throw a card down. It goes over here in the pile, or you know what I mean. And then the dealer throws another one out. We both throw one down. Goes over here. Then once we've gone through the whole zombie deck, you go through everything. And so like, if you were the first one, you get a point. So you get that card as your point. If you threw the wrong card, you have to give a card back out of your score pile. So you have to be fast, but you also have to be accurate. So you can't just be chucking stuff down. So it looked kind of interesting. It was, you know, it's relatively cheap. It's just a card game. It's something that I could probably play with my kids. I haven't backed it, but I thought about it.
That's something where you could kind of, if it's just a deck of cards, you could carry anywhere. That's what I always like to try to find a game or two that, like, I can throw in my suitcase or backpack or wherever.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Trip. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to check that one out. I'm about to get the name of that.
So zombie Pile-Up.
Pile-Up. Okay.
It is it is a zombie slaying game, and I'm sure you can figure out a way to play it with just 2 players and not need the dealer. I would assume. You just be like, throw the card, go 1, 2, 3, and throw it down.
You could go crazy.
You can figure it out. All right, you got any other good Kickstarters? Any hot ones?
Tumbletown.
Okay, I didn't see Tumbletown.
It's a dice stacking puzzle game.
Oh,
Did you see that one? We were just talking about earlier. There's cards that give you like how to build these dice structures, and then you make it like a city road. You have your little town here, and there's, it kind of goes back and forth with these dice stacked. And then you get bonuses by if you can stack them. I don't know if you have to use the dice numbers. I didn't really look into it much farther than that, but it looked interesting because it's, you're manipulating these dice and you're making these stacks.
And you're actually like building stuff. So
that's kind of my.
So here's it again. I've got so many like things, right? Like, I just want to play this really quick game, but I also really like games with amazing table presence. And I imagine if you're building, as the game goes on and you're building like the small town, right? Like these buildings along the side of the road. If you're playing that and somebody walks by and it's like, what is that, right? Like
that would catch your eye, like at that M.E.E.P.L.E weekend when you have, if somebody's playing that game and you have dice stacked up,
people are gonna
6
stop.
inches, like, what?
People are gonna stop and look.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That's on my radar too. So
I like it.
We'll see.
That sounds
good.
If
any of those ones I back, but
right. So what you need to do is follow Ted on Kickstarter, and then you can like.
Oh yeah.
Then you go, hey man, why didn't you back that? You said you were gonna back it. You said this looked good. Why'd you back the Wendy's Kickstarter and not the Beards one?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. We were talking the other night about that Wendy's role playing game. Did you see that?
I didn't see that one either.
Oh yeah, Wendy's like last year put out a very short like rules and stuff, and so you get.
Was it like on your whatever your Wendy's little kids meal, like on the side of it?
It should have been.
That would have been a cool idea,
But it's like a fantasy RPG, but it's like with if you eat like a Wendy's burger, you get like powers, or you get a Frosty, then your wizard can do like ice spells, and
it'd be kind of cool.
If you eat like a spicy chicken sandwich, then you can do like the fireballs, and
it's an interesting concept.
It's really bizarre, right? But whatever. It sounds hilarious. I really.
Anybody back it? Anybody back
well,
it?
it's a thing. They just gave it out for free.
Is it a print?
It was
a print and play.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It's just pretty much print and play. I wish I had the time to invest, because if I was going to sit down, I used to play a bunch of role playing games, but I just don't have the time anymore. I spend all my time when I not like being a halfway decent father. Like I spend all my time playing tabletop board games instead of role playing games anymore, because you get that rare board game night in, and it's like. Well, we can commit to a 5-month-long D&D campaign, or sometimes a year-long, D&D campaign, or we could just play like 3 or 4 different games tonight, and then it doesn't matter. End up playing the 3 or 4 different games. So, but I'm really curious. Like, I want to meet people that have played it, so I can just hear about it, hear their stories.
There's nobody in the group that's played it?
I haven't asked enough people yet.
You better get on Facebook and put it out.
All right, but like, all right, guys.
Hey, all right.
Who's
played this?
Who's done the Wendy's thing? I need to know about
I bet there's somebody. Around
somebody
here.
has done it.
Yeah.
Somebody's done it. All right, you got any more Kickstarters for us?
That is all my Kickstarters.
No, that's good. That's good. Kickstarter gets enough love.
I think so.
Yeah.
But you gotta, there's like so many on there. Yeah, I couldn't even go through them all in probably 2 or 3 hours and have to click through them and check them all out. So.
No, but actually, while we're on Kickstarter, I got a question for you. So you're a game designer. Have you tried to publish anything on Kickstarter yet?
I have not yet.
Okay.
But it looks like it's going to be an interesting time.
When you go, do you think you're going to go Kickstarter, or do you think you're just going to? You haven't decided.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have the pleasure of knowing, of getting to play games with him and one of his design partners, and
Rob's the other co-designer of the Barnyard Grab. We decided to go with that name. Yeah, we decided to go with that name.
My daughter Mallory will be very excited.
It's been over a year trying to figure a name out, and that was that one stuck. So we're just gonna hold. And that's the gist of the game. So it makes sense.
It is. They have designed when they are ready. I'm going to have them on, and we will do it will take 2 minutes. We will do a playthrough.
It will be frantic 2 minutes too.
Of Barnyard Grab because I loved it. It's a great game to play while you're waiting. Jimmy's not here yet, right? So he said he'll be here in 10 minutes. Let's just play a couple rounds of this, and then you play that, and then so and so walks in the door. You can go back and play whatever game previously scheduled.
And last night we just played, and I might have to put another rule in the rule book because we played with some really young kids. 5 and 6 year olds, but the dads played too, so dads rolled dice.
Oh, sure.
And then the kids picked the barnyard animals. But that's as much of a hint I'm going to give. We'll have to wait until...
And I think you just said another, not for that game, but a different game that you guys could make. Dads roll dice. That sounds like that sounds like a board game name. I didn't say it was a good game. That's why I'm not a designer.
You can make any game, but it doesn't mean it's going to be a good game.
That's true. That is true. So moving on then from Kickstarter, I'm going to go into one little bit of news that I thought was pretty interesting. A game company that I really liked early and was popular early on, Plaid Hat Games. In 2015, I believe they were bought or acquired or sold to Asmodee, whatever terms you want to use. So Asmodee is like the big umbrella company and has been buying up, they bought Fantasy Flight, they bought up a bunch of other game companies. Well, Plaid Hat Games, you may know them from Dead of Winter or Spectre Ops, Stuffed Fables, Raxon, Mice and Mystics, so Tail Feathers, a whole bunch of really interesting and neat games. Asmodee bought them, and now, just in the last week, they have announced that they are basically I forget his name now, I'm a bad host. He got his rights back. Has parted ways with Asmodee amicably, but Asmodee is going to retain the rights to Dead of Winter, Mice and Mystics, Stuffed Fables, and Raxon. So Plaid Hat is leaving. They don't get all of their old games back, but they're now going to be able to create new games, new IPs. I'm assuming that they will get to still make Spectre Ops games, because there's a couple in that universe. I don't know if you played Spectre Ops, but I
haven't played that one.
It's a hidden movement, potential hidden traitor. It's really good. Dead of Winter is super popular.
I haven't played that one either.
Dead of Winter is a really solid game. Mice and Mystics is a great family kids game. It's sort of like a storybook game, and you've got there's this huge story, and you're this knight, but you've been turned into you and your friends have been basically turned into mice by an evil wizard trying to take over the castle. So you're battling your way through the castle.
That sounds pretty cool.
So you're fighting rats and spiders, and you're mice, and it's really neat. It's very kid friendly, but there's enough there that adults can play.
Like an RPG then, kind of.
Sort of.
Okay.
Sort of, but but in a box, in a board game. So
I play at my level. My kids are 8 and 12.
Sure.
So 9 and 12. So I'm kind of in that range
I'm
right
at
now.
8 and 3.
So I'm a little ahead of you right now.
So Clark doesn't play anything because him playing is just throwing stuff and, wrecking it. Mallory she's starting to get into games now. She's Dad, this one says 10 and up, but I can try it, right? I'm let's try it, kid. So she's a little more ambitious, and I'm clinging on to that because when she gives up, when she's too cool for me anymore, it's going to break my heart. But so for right now, I'm trying to get all them games in with her that I can. But so it'll be interesting to see what kind of new stuff Plaid Hat comes out with. Fantasy Flight is now like the steward for Dead of Winter and Raxxon, which will be interesting. I'm wondering now because so Fantasy Flight makes a bunch of games and most of their games have miniatures and things like that.
Right, yeah.
Dead of Winter has standees, like the cardboard standees, the printed characters. So I'm wondering if in our future you are going to see a copies of Dead of Winter come out with like actual miniatures of zombies and heroes and
that'd be pretty cool.
Whatever.
Just more painting to do.
Right. I have so many things that need painted. We need to hang out because I can't paint. I try really hard, but I don't do so great. So, okay. So that's my news. We'll just kind of watch and see what happens with Plaid Hat. Asmodee is going to be fine because they own everything else.
I wonder if they'll have something at Gen Con by then.
I'm sure.
That'd be a good place to go check them out.
Gen Con or Origins. Yeah. Keep your eyes open.
Nah, I can't go to Origins. I'm already booked.
You're already booked.
I'm already booked.
This man is booked up.
That's my family. We have family times scheduled already
that
weekend.
I get it.
You got to balance that.
You got to pick one, right? Yeah. Sometimes you got to choose one or the other.
But I'm going to Gen Con, so we'll be cool. It'll be cool.
Right on. Right on. Well, I've already said you're a game designer. I'm super excited that you're a game designer because I like to pick people that are smarter than me's brains, which is like everybody. Not to sell you short, but I like to pick people's brains, kind of hear about your experiences. So you're a designer, and I played one of your games, and it was short and quick and really light and really fun. But what are some mechanics that you like in games to play?
Oh, to play?
Yeah, I mean, it can be like, I like this mechanic. I want to integrate it into my own game. Or maybe it's like, I don't know how to make a game with this mechanic, but I do enjoy playing this.
There's this old school game that we have. It's like kind of out of print. It's called Finca. You ever played that one?
No, Finca?
It's got a rondelle.
Oh, right on. Okay.
So it's got the circular motion where you have meeples that move so many spaces. I think you roll a dice, and that's how many spaces, but then that correlates to things on the board.
Okay.
And that is like kind of an odd...
Finca.
It's kind of an odd...
look up Finca.
It's like an island, and you're like growing oranges and figs and things.
So is it like set collection then, or is it a worker placement?
There's kind of a worker placement part on the rondelle, and then you have to get so many fruit from where your guy lands on the rondelle.
Right.
And then you use your fruit to buy these plots of land.
Okay.
I haven't played in a while, but that was one of our favorites. My wife really likes those kind of deep thinking games too.
Have you guys tried like Five Tribes?
No, we haven't played that one.
Five Tribes, you've got a grid of tiles that is laid out, okay? And then you've got like all of these meeples. There's red, green, white, black, yellow, I don't remember. And you put like, you basically evenly distribute all of these meeples out on the board, right? On all these tiles. So some of them have most of them have like 4 or 5 on there. And then what you do is you pick a space you want to start, and you pick up all the meeples of one color on that space. So this space might have 3 yellows.
Okay.
So I want all those yellow meeples. So I pick up the 3 yellows. Is that how it works? And then you drop a meeple for each space you want to move, and then you basically, when you end on a tile, if you clear the tile, you can put like a building on it.
It's kind of like Mancala then.
It is kind of like Mancala, except you're using meeples.
Off.
But then at the end of the game, the meeples that you've gathered, like you score points based on like the meeples you've gathered, and then because it is sort of like a Middle Eastern themed, you've got like genies that you can buy, and then the genies give you extra powers. And
I'm gonna look them.
And there's some set collection like stuff. So there's some items down, like there's items you can get out of the market. Yeah, Five Tribes is really neat. It's a really good game. I've got it. I'll be happy to play with you sometime. Five Tribes is an excellent game. So if you like that, it's not really a rondelle. It's more of a Mancala. But
my wife really likes. She's the brainiac.
She
really likes a. This is kind of a light game, but Splendor.
Splendor's awesome, though.
But you can really You can really overthink it now.
You can.
But she beats me every time.
Really?
Because that's a Brainiac kind of game, like thinking ahead, like what.
Well, have you tried?
What do I need to do next?
Have you played the app?
No, I haven't got the app yet.
Oh my gosh!
Because then I'll be addicted and never get off my phone.
The problem is with the app, it's not really a problem, but it'll be like you have 15 turns to get all your points, right? It's like
really?
Yeah. So then you're like, I made these moves, and I fly by the seat of my pants so much in those games. I'm like, this one looks good. I'm gonna try to get this one. I get this one, and then like a turn later, I'm like, oh, why did I get that? I don't need that. And if I sat and actually paid attention, I would do a lot better. But Splendor's a really good game. It's simple, but there's a lot of strategy to it. I like Splendor a lot. She likes deduction kind of games, like we were talking about earlier. We were looking at the wall of games in here at the store, and there were some good ones in there. So do you play like Deception, Murder in Hong Kong? Have you tried that one?
No, but she probably would like that, where she can just really think through everything, But Rob's got a really good deduction game that's it's actually published, I think.
She needs to play like Letter Jam too. I
don't know that one either.
Oh, Letter Jam's pretty new. Came out around Gen Con last year. Letter Jam is really solid.
I'm not looking at all these games.
I see, like basically somebody sees your letters, so they know what your letters are, and then you are. How does it work? I'm trying to remember. You've got to figure out what your letters are, like in front of you. They're cards face down.
You showed them to someone on the other side of the table.
Yeah, and basically based on your clues, like clues that other people are giving you by trying to make words. Oh. They're like, your letter will work for 3 of these. And you're like, oh, okay. And then after like maybe 2 rounds, you're like, this is an R. And you flip it over, and if it's an R, you're good,
Oh, okay.
And it's co-op though. I think everybody's trying to get all of their. If I remember correctly, I played at Gen Con, and that's the last time I played it. I just need to buy the dang game because it's
just
really
a card game.
Yeah, it's just cards.
Oh,
it's a really good game. It's a really good game. Letter Jam.
The one that we play a lot is like Rob's like first prototype.
Oh sure.
And it's just like it's symbols and colors. And I think that's it, yeah. It's 7, there's 7 colors, 7 numbers, and 7 shapes.
Okay.
So then you have to figure out what you have a card facing away from you, and then you have a hand.
He just put a thing, didn't he just put a thing on Facebook about having it like...
It's published, and I think it probably is, I don't know when it's coming out.
I've got to hit him up then. I'm like, Rob, you got to come on. You don't have a choice. You got to come on and talk about this game.
Yeah, he should have been here tonight.
He should have.
Rob, why aren't you here tonight?
Yeah, Rob, come on. And if you're not watching this, then naughty. So you better be.
Well, I'm going to see him Thursday because we have a design meeting. So
there you go. Put your heads together.
Yeah.
But that reminded me, like Hanabi is one where you hold your cards. You've got numbers and colors, and you're trying to play all your cards in sequence. But you can basically. On your, I can tell you, you can ask me, I think I can ask you, a question about one of my cards,
you can't see the cards?
But you can't see your cards.
Oh, man.
And then on your turn, you've got to play one of your cards.
That's too deep thinking for me. That's too deep thinking.
It's really good. Have you played the game?
Oh, man. These are a lot of, you got a lot of games.
The game.
Oh, yeah, you said your collection's
99.
Huge.
You got 99 and 99 and 1 and 1. Okay? And the whole deck of cards is all the numbers in between. So from 2 to 98. And so you play a 90. If you play an 88 on your 99, you can't play anything in the 90s. And so you're working your way down. And the other side, you're working your way up.
Oh, wow,
and
really?
You've got it. You're co-op.
So you start at a 2 or 3 or 4 down here, and you got to...
Hopefully, because you've got to get through the entire deck of cards. You've got to get through basically all 98 cards. And on your turn, you've got to play 3 cards. You're not allowed to say, I can play an 88 here. And then you'll be like, no, I've got a 90.
You have a hand or you have half the deck?
No, you've got a hand. And so you're drawing cards out of the deck. So you're getting cards
That's a crazy game.
It's wild.
Did you play the game at Protospiel? You roll a dice and it's like that. You cross things off 1 through 15.
Okay, no, I didn't.
You roll 5 dice, and they're like 5 different colored dice, and with like, well, they have 15. I think they're 15s or 12s.
Oh.
And then you cross them off on your score sheet.
Sure.
So it's kind of like that, but not up to 100.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. It's really brutal. It's really fun. We've beaten it once. We've beaten it once.
Well, there's a lot of hidden cards in there.
And it was really satisfying when we beat it. Because you get like really close sometimes. You're like, oh, we were like down to 10 cards. You know, you start getting close. You're like, woo! And then there's times where it's like, guys, I have got to wreck this row. Like, and you just throw a bad card out because you have to.
And you're done though, right? Pretty much.
Kinda.
Well, you can.
They do give you this.
They give you a bonus or something.
Well, they give you this thing where like let's say that this is 99 descending to 1. Okay, if you play a 58. Technically, nothing higher than a 58 can be played over here.
Okay.
But if you have exactly 10 away from it, I could play a 68 here.
Oh.
So you can kind of jump it back.
So that's one of the whatever. It's kind of a
workaround.
It's kind of a bonus card.
Workaround.
Kind of.
And we have had turns where it would go like, I have a 58 and I got a 68, and then you'd have a 78, and then somebody had an 88, and they're like, we went from being all the way down to 58. Now we're all the way back up into the 80s, so like we're good again.
So is it like, does it have a sheet on there like how many, like what your score is by how many you have left?
I think
kind of like when you pull the little pegs. It's like if you have 1, you're a genius.
Right.
That.
Yeah, I think they give you a little bit of like, okay, this.
If you can get like down to 10,
you got
like
this close. You're pretty good. You're pretty good. But yeah, it's brutal. It's a ton of fun though. It's a ton of fun. It's really hard. it's really difficult.
I'm sure. If you can't talk about the cards you got.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So what's your favorite mechanic to put in to just if you're playing a game and somebody's like, this is this kind of game, and you're like, I'm automatically in.
Oh man. I've been trying to like spread my mechanics out too.
Sure.
I like a good worker placement, but that's just such a hard game to design because it, there's so much stuff you have to add.
Well, you have to have the spaces.
Yep. And then there's such a balance on a worker placement.
And balancing, right? And balancing. But worker placements are classic, right?
I think I counted how many games I have like ideas or started, and I was like over 25.
So what's one of your favorite?
Which is not probably that many, but that's still a lot.
A lot of ideas. That seems like a lot to me.
Yeah.
I'm happy if I have like idea, like woohoo. So what's your favorite worker placement? Like
viticulture.
Viticulture.
Oh yeah.
Viticulture's rad. I love viticulture.
Probably that's.
Have you played? Do you like Stonemaier games? Have you played other Stonemaier games?
I played.
Like Euphoria.
I played Wingspan. I haven't played Euphoria.
Euphoria
and I haven't
really
played
good
the
too.
new one. What's Tapestry?
Tapestry. Yep. Tapestry's really good.
The game group they were playing that the other night.
Tapestry's good.
I guess it's the Niles game group that I'm part of.
Sure.
Well, I'm part of M.E.E.P.L.E too.
Yeah.
Kind of.
There's the whole thing with like M.E.E.P.L.E is that everybody's got all these different game groups, and there's like a Venn diagram, right, of where we all kind of overlap. Like, oh, Ted's in this group, but he's played games with me, and I'm in this group, and I play games with Bob, and Bob's in that group. You know what I mean? So M.E.E.P.L.E is just kind of like once a month we try to get all those, or as many people from those groups, like all under one umbrella for a day, and then
you get to know a lot of people.
You get to know a lot of people, and you sometimes now like somebody's playing games like, oh, you were at their house, like what were you doing there? And it's fine, I like it. Actually, I need to get up into one of the Niles ones sometimes because I don't live that far from Niles. It's just
I haven't been able to coordinate very well with them lately, just with my schedule so crazy.
It's tough, man.
So
it's tough.
They're always like, "Are you gonna come play?" And I'm like, "No, I can't tonight."
Right.
No, are you gonna come? No, I can't. I'm just like, man.
It's difficult.
So Protospiel's dedicated, so I'm just like, I gotta be there.
Right. Well, you got to.
I gotta come to M.E.E.P.L.E. I gotta come to the M.E.E.P.L.E event because it's gonna be epic. I got a feeling.
It's gonna be really good, man. It's gonna be really good, and you're gonna see. I like to go to those events and like break out games that I don't necessarily break out like casually. Like I'll get out my big Beast Cthulhu Wars, right? Where the miniatures are like this big.
Man.
You know,
I'm gonna have to come just to see that.
or GKR heavy hitters, and where the mechs are that tall and they come painted and they're beautiful. That's what I like to do with those. I'm like, come on, who's playing? I'll teach you. I don't care. We can knock out a game in an hour and a half, like with learning. Like, boom, we'll go. New people can win all the time because Cthulhu Wars is like asymmetrical territory control, and each faction plays completely different and has like a different strategy on like how to win the game. And some factions can kind of turtle and have no combat through like the whole thing and still get victory points.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's, and again, like gigantic. We call them bigatures since they're not miniatures.
They're like 8 inches?
Oh, they're huge. Yeah.
Or they're like a foot?
No, they're like 8 inches. They're about 8. Some of them, like Cthulhu, from wing to base, is pretty massive. It's just big chunks of plastic, and I love it. I love it.
So what else did you play this week? Like, what have you played this week?
So Rob came over, his design partner. I guess that's what I can call him, right? We played homebrewers. We learned how to play homebrewers together by Greater Than Games. And so that one, you're like, everybody's like making beer in their garages, and
really?
Yeah, so you go
That's
through like
cool.
you go through like a calendar year. So you score points at like Summerfest, and then at the end of the game, that's like the middle scoring round, and at the end of the game, you score points at Oktoberfest.
Have you played this? Did you play this one before?
Nope, I learned it. I got a copy to review, and when I get those, what I try to do is see what it's like if you were to just rip the shrink off and play it at a game night.
Okay.
Like, hey guys, I just got this game, let's play it. It was very easy to learn. There were a few things in the rule book that were like, I'm not sure, does this mean this? You know, and so we kind of talked about it. We're like, well, whatever, it means this, we're going to play it this way. And I think I'm pretty sure we played it right. But it was really funny because you're drawing ingredients to play in your beers, and you'll have like a ale, a porter, a stout, and an IPA, or like your beer categories. Okay.
Okay.
And it's represented. You got a player board, and what you do is when you get an ingredient and you play it, you tuck it under your player board. So like the name of the ingredient, and then like a benefit. So like maybe this one gives me $2 every time I make this IPA, or maybe this one gives me a victory point every time I brew this porter or whatever. But I had a green tea chili.
That really sounds bad.
It sounds so horrible. Stout. A green tea chili stout. And I think Rob had like a pumpkin ginger, like it was really weird, you know. Like
that's like what you made because that's the ingredients you stack on each other?
You're just jamming ingredients so it doesn't actually like, you know, like realistically have to be a good beer. You might need like there might be judges. You see what the judges are going to score you on, and so maybe
like randomly drawn like cards or
so yeah. There's like savory components which are like red cards, and then there's dessert components which are like yellow cards. There's fruits which are like green cards. You know what I mean? So you've got like different color cards.
I'd be interested in playing that one.
Yeah,
for sure.
With learning, it took us under an hour to play. It was
really?
It was really quick. It actually, we were like, oh my gosh, are we doing this right? The game's almost over. But it was really quick. I think we had a good time, and we're kind of laughing at like our goofy beer combinations, you know. And
it sounds crazy.
Oh well, again, like I said,
it's probably part of of the fun, though. You know.
Yeah, just making these really bizarre.
Chili,
bizarre beers.
Green tea chili, delicious.
Ugh. No,
I haven't played anything really heavy this week. We played Code Names with some friends.
You know what though? Code Names is awesome. Code Names is a great, like especially if they don't play a lot of board games. Like Code Names is a very good like icebreaker. My
wife and son, the 9-year-old, pulled out some old school Sorry today.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I used to play a lot of Sorry.
So that's kind of what's been on the table.
Sorry and Trouble. You used to play Trouble.
We don't have Trouble.
Pop-O-Matic.
We have Sorry. You know, you draw a card and says, do whatever. You know.
Yeah, move your little guy around.
That was old school. We had that.
So we played. Then we played
had kids type kind of. You know.
I get it. Well, so with Mallory, I have this game that I ordered specifically from Germany. I saw it at a convention. It's like an old Ravensburger game. It's in German. It's called like Flug der Mumie, and it's basically like the Tomb of the Mummy. Oh. And it is this This game is so cool. It's a tray that holds up like this metallic board or a magnetic board. Okay. On what you have cards that have different colors, so you'll that are artifacts. So you need like a blue artifact, a white artifact, a red artifact, a yellow artifact, and there's a bunch of different. There might be like an ankh or a jewel or a statue, but there's one of each. There's like a green statue, a red statue, a blue statue, and a white statue, right? I mean, so there's all the artifacts are by color and they're in different sections of the tomb. Okay, so this magnetic board that stands up in the middle is gridded out in squares, and it's like it almost looks like a maze, right? So there's walls and you can move around. Here's the thing: is our pieces are on one, like, so if I'm playing against you and you're the mummy, our pieces, all the people on this side, our pieces are all on the board. They're magnetic, and so when we move, you roll dice, you roll like 5 dice. You pick the die you're going to use. Like this one says 4 spaces. I'm moving 4 spaces. You move your 4 squares, right? If I get to one of my artifacts, I go, hey, I've got an artifact.
So those victory points, is that what they are?
You basically got to get your 5 artifacts. The first one to get their 5 artifacts. Now here's the rub. You're the mummy, okay? The mummy, you have a piece on your side of the board, and then you have a piece on our side of the board. So we can see you, but you can't see us. So the mummy rolls a die, and they move so many spaces.
Decide where you're going to move.
And so the mummy's trying to find the people. So when the mummy's piece gets to one of the explorer's pieces, because they're magnetic, it jumps on top of the mummy piece. And so you'll be moving, and you hear this.
That would be fun.
You hear this click, and you're like, I got you! And then you've got so many lives, right? So I give you one of my life tokens. So the mummy's trying to go around and capture everybody. So that's the thing. If I go, hey, I just got this goblet, the green goblet, you're like, it's right there. And I'm like 3 spaces away. Here's the other thing that makes it even worse. You roll those 5 dice, right? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's an arrow. So if it's an arrow, you can move all the way, horizontally or vertically till you hit a wall.
Okay.
So you can kind of like fly all the way across the board sometimes, right? And sometimes there's walls in your way, so you maybe go like 3 spaces. But you can choose the arrow. But on the last side of the die is a mummy. And if I roll a mummy, I have to give you that die. That die gives you an extra movement on your turn.
Oh man!
And to make it worse,
that's some good game. And
to make it even worse, at any time, any player can go, you know what, mummy, I want those dice back. Then you get to move you get to move a space for each die you give back to that player. So maybe I know, like maybe I just got this card, right? And I'm like, but you're 3 spaces away. But Mallory, my daughter's playing, and she's gonna go, Ted, I want those dice back, and you've got 3 dice. Well, you're like, I know right where this chump is, and you're gonna move your 3 spaces. Click, you got me. And it's a really simple, but like really neat and intuitive game.
It's an interesting mechanic with the magnetic wall.
Yes. So I bought that game. I play with my daughter all the time. She loves it. She likes being the mummy. She also likes kind of being the explorer.
Yeah.
We taught Rob how to play it. So like Mallory, if I've got friends coming over for game night, she will like try to get a game in, with everybody, and that's fine. Like I'm like, okay guys, we're gonna play this one, because like a game like that, it's like he's probably never even heard of it. You show you something like completely new, something cool, and B, it's really fun. It's a really fun game. Then is it the Brain Games, the people that made Ice Cool? Did you see Ice Cool? That's like the penguin.
We have Ice Cool.
Yeah, we've got Ice Cool also. We
don't have Ice Cool 2, though.
I don't have Ice Cool 2
I don't
either.
have it.
I'll end up with it eventually. But they made a version of this game called Pyramid of the Penguin. And it's got the same mechanic, but I was disappointed.
With the flipping?
No. It's the mummy. It's the same magnetic board. Except it's like a mummy penguin going around, and then you're all like little penguins trying to get your fish.
They took it and twisted it a little bit.
So I ended up.
I guess the graphics is all they really twisted.
Right.
They kept the mechanics the same.
Exactly. But I don't know if it's just my copy, but I was really disappointed because the magnets didn't work as well. So in my German version, that's the Mummy. I mean, those things you could hit every adventurer and they would go click, 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 and all stand up on the end. You know what I mean? Like they'd all stack up. Where in the American version that I got, like you're lucky if you get one of them to pop on there, and it's just kind of. I was like, well, I'll just get the other one out and just play that one because it plays easier. But it could just be my board. Like maybe I got a bum.
Man, maybe your magnet's weak or something.
Yeah, maybe I got a bum magnet in there. Maybe I should just email them and be like, hey, why do my magnets not work? But anyways, so you can find it in the States. It's just got a different name. Produced by a different company, reskinned. It's bright and colorful. Yeah. It's all the same kind of artwork like Ice Cool. So that's what the art looks like.
You probably made it more kid friendly or something.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the Mummy's not like really. The Mummy is very cartoony looking, so it's not like real scary. But yeah, I would say it's.
Let's check it out. I'm gonna check it. I better make a list of all these games to check out.
I'll just give you some homework, buddy.
$1,000 later.
Yeah. But we played Fluch der Mumie, then we played Homebrewers, and then we played Marvel Legendary. Have you played Marvel Legendary?
No, I haven't played that one either.
So it's a deck builder, and it's a semi-cooperative deck builder.
Oh, okay.
Like everyone can lose, but only one person can win. So the supervillain's got like this.
Is it like Marvel United kind of? But Marvel United, you move to locations, I think, and fight these guys.
Yeah, so this is different because you've got. Have you played any deck builders? Have you played like Ascension or DC Deck Builder or? So your cards in your
Dominion?
hand. Yeah, kind of like Dominion.
Yeah, I played Dominion.
So Dominion, you've got cards that will give you like recruiting power, so you can buy cards and add them to your deck, and then you've got cards that have a combat value, and you use those to fight the villains that are popping up. And then those villains go to your score pile. So you're buying cards. Oh. You're buying cards to make your deck better, right? And set up combinations like Dominion. And then you've got the fighting cards to then beat the villains. And so the villains are moving. There's like a row, like through the streets. And so when a villain card comes out, it pushes them all down. And then if they fall off the edge, they escape, and then something bad happens. Uh-oh. So you're trying, and you've got like a ticking time bomb, right? And then there's a master villain that's always trying to do something and make the game harder. So anyways, we played that. Rob kicked all our butts.
Rob likes those kind of games though.
Oh, he does. He
likes Dominion too. He's got
the brain for it, man. But I'm good at those kind of games and I really like them. But it clicked with him real quick. We played that, and then he left, and Dan was still. So Dan had come over. We played that, and then Dan and I played Chronicles of Crime. Have you played Chronicles of Crime?
I haven't played that one either.
Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't heard of that.
So it's app driven, and you lay out these clues.
You're talking like your phone app?
Yeah, and then you take your phone or your iPad and you scan like the QR code on it, and then it will be like So I scanned the TED card. Now I'm talking to you, and I found this handgun. So I scan the handgun. Now I'm asking you about the handgun. Or I scan this picture. I scan this card with a character on it. Now I'm asking you about this character. And so you've got so much time. So there's a time elapses every time you're investigating stuff.
What do you think about the app though? Do you feel like it takes away from the board game feel? I've heard people are on the. I haven't played one, so I don't know. You're like, well, this is a tabletop, but I got to use my phone, which I didn't want to use.
I come down in the middle. I guess I come down in the middle because there's some games where I'm worried that the apps will stop being supported. So then you've just got a box of cards that doesn't do anything. And this is one that will be very susceptible to that. Thankfully, it's a popular title. They're doing expansions. I think it'll be around a while. You know what I mean? But one of the things you need to do is when you get to the crime scene, you are basically one person will hit the button to look at the crime screen or the crime scene, and then the screen comes up and you're looking around, you're turning around, you're looking up, you're looking down.
Oh, that's cool.
And you're like, I see a dead cat, I see it looks like a letter in the trash can, and then somebody else is then going through the clue deck going trash, animals, kitchen utensils. whatever the person's saying they're seeing. And so then you're now investigating those clues while you're there, and it knows to tell you, like, yep, there's blood on this knife. And then you can call up, like, forensic scientists, and they're like, oh, they're O positive. There's O positive blood. And you're like, well, our victim was O positive, or our victim was A positive but died of stab wounds, but it's not the victim's blood on this knife. And so you're like, whose blood is on this knife? So then you're going around, and then at the end it'll be like, what character did this? And so you scan, how was this person killed? And you scan what you think it was, and then it'll tell you, without telling you everything, it just says, this was right, this was right, this was wrong, this was right, and gives you a score based on that. And then you can click and see how the whole thing unfolded, or you can go back and like try to replay the scenario. So it was really good. It's really hard. We were like, oh, this was so tough. Like, we barely made it. And then we were like, oh, it said easy. Like in the next one that we could have played said hard. And we're like,
you played a hard one first?
No, we played an easy one first. Oh, you played
an easy one?
And it about smoked us. So we're like, oh, what are we going to do? And then we played Horrified. Have you played Horrified?
No, I haven't played that either.
Horrified is relatively new. It's kind of like Pandemic, but it's like the Universal monsters. So there's Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Invisible Man, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. Basically, you pick 3 of the monsters you want to go up against, and then you place them out on the map. They've got a few things on the board, and then you are running around the board like picking up items, and each monster's got like a unique thing you need to do to beat them. So like Dracula's got all these coffins spread out on the board, and before you can fight Dracula, you have to gather up all these red items, because there's items that come out, and then go to those coffins, and basically you discard them, but you're smashing the coffins. And then after you smash all those coffins, then you can go to where he is, and if you discard X amount of the right items, you beat him. And then now he's off the board. And then, so you go, and then we draw an event. And so the monster's moving, the monster's attacking. There's like villagers that pop up, and they're moving through the village, and you're trying to get them to safety so that you can get extra cards. But the monsters are either going after you, or they're going after the villagers. And there's like a couple of different ways. We won, but we had 1 card left in the deck when we won. And if we had to go, if you have to go a turn and you can't draw a card, you lose. If your terror track gets all the way up to the end, you lose. So our terror track was like a 6 out of 8, I think. So we were close. And then we were down to like 1 card in the deck, but we won. And it was
you played some good games this week. That was just yesterday, though?
That was last night. We were up till like 2 in the morning. Man. I was like, I'm up way too late. But we had a good time. You get going on some good games.
Right.
We had a good time. And homebrewers, so I was like, somebody come over and play homebrewers with me. Like, I need to play homebrewers. And then after that, it's kind of like, we'll just play whatever. Like, so Rob was like, I've never played Legendary. I'm kind of interested in that. I'm like, well, let's do it, man. And so we set up Legendary and played it. And then Dan wanted, let's try Chronicles of Crime. I'm like, let's do it, man. So I had played the tutorial of Chronicles of Crime. Had never like actually played the real game.
Oh, okay.
So we like buzzed through the tutorial real quick, and then we played like a real mission. And then like Legendary, I played a ton of. Like I've played a ton of Legendary. So that was easy, blah, blah, blah. Homebrewers, we had just learned. And then Horrified, I played a ton of. So I was able to just teach Dan. And the nice thing about Horrified is very easy to teach. The rules are very simple. And we were done in under an hour. Like, it plays very fast. I mean, you can sit there and, like, really overanalyze. But we're like, nah, man. I'm going there. Picking this up. I'm going over here. I'm going to hit this guy. And I'm out of action points. So it's your turn. Draw the card. Do the thing. It's your turn. Go for it. And, we had a few times where we stopped and go, well, if you do this or that. But we kept it bumping. But yeah, we got to play some really good games. I'm holding out to play Viticulture with you, because I know you said you want to play Viticulture.
Oh yeah, that's a favorite. That's one of my favorites.
So I haven't played with the expansions. So I need to play with the expansions. I got the original OG Kickstarter Viticulture.
Oh wow!
So it comes in like the wine crate with like the big Tuscany box and it's got like the metal coins. So I just got the Essential Edition and the 2 expansions, the Visitors from the Moors, and there's another one, the Visitors from the Rhine, something like that.
Sounds right.
So we will be reviewing that very soon, very 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 soon. So I haven't played with any of those. I'm really excited to kind of just chuck those in and go because Viticulture is really awesome game, really awesome game. I was blown away. I don't know about you, but when I played Viticulture on your player mat and you're moving your like red wine and your white wine pieces, you know what I mean?
The little discs,
and you're making your blush. Yeah. You know, it's. I was just really like it's so.
I think it's because I don't know, man. Those guys always make good games.
I'm telling you, Stonemaier. I'm a big fan. I'm in the bag for them anyways. Like I played Viticulture and Euphoria really early, and Euphoria's got like a really funny theme, and it's like dice. Your workers are your dice, so you roll and depending on the number on the die, kind of determines like what happens when you take a certain action. You know, like if you've got a total of this much here, but then the number on your die, the higher number they are, the easier it is to kind of lose your dice because they represent your workers, and the higher the number, the smarter they are. And if they get too smart, they realize, like, what am I doing working for you? And they take off.
Okay.
And so then you got, like, recruit more workers and things like that. It's brilliant. And there's a bunch of different tracks.
I feel like that's another game. We're going to do that one after Viticulture.
Let's do it.
We're going to play that. Euphoria.
Play Viticulture and Euphoria? We'll just do a Stonemaier.
Yeah, we're going to start doing Stonemaier.
Easy for me. Then we'll play Scythe. Then we'll play Tapestry.
I played Scythe. I was terrible at it, but I played it.
It's all right. That means I got a chance to win. I don't mind.
It was the first time, though. The first time you might just, whenever you play a game, you're learning it. You don't know the strategy. So.
I have adopted a saying from my brother-in-law that we use all the time when we play games. Your first game doesn't count unless you win. So if you win, win, it counts, man. But if you don't win, that was my first game.
I was gonna say it's my first game every time I play one.
As long as you're playing with new people all the time, you're good.
Yeah,
you're
that's
good.
True.
You just show up to Meeple.
Did you just play that last week with me?
What you need to do is show up to Meeple with like a game you've had published that you
never played this
smoke
before.
it. Yeah, cover up your name badge. Like who's that designed by? I will rat you out in a second.
No, I wouldn't do that.
But it's fun though, right? So, most of the time, there are certain games if I'm playing and people already know how to play, I will play to win. Like for example, this coming weekend I'm going to go to a convention and I'm going to play actually 2 big games of Cthulhu Wars, like 2 6-player games. Almost everybody in one of the games has already played before. Actually, everybody in the first one that I've got scheduled has already played before. I'm playing that sucker to win, right?
Right, yeah.
I'll be refreshing people on the rules, but man, I want to win that one. The next day, I've got a friend that wants to play it. He's like, would you teach my buddy how to play? So I'm playing that one with a bunch of strangers, and they haven't played or have only played like once. And so that game I'm going to teach and play nice. And if I win, I win, but I'm going to try really hard to like, hey man, like, I don't like to quarterback people, but I also will be like,
you should maybe think about doing
like, you've got a couple options, or it would be smart to attack me because I'm going to take that in a minute, kind of thing. Wherein if I'm playing with experienced players, I just play to win. But most of the time, I just like the experience of sitting down at the table and playing a game and hanging out with people, and I'm easy like that. I just like being part of the group, being in there and goofing around, but that's one of my favorite things about gaming. So we talked about Viticulture. You said Viticulture is like your favorite worker placement game. So is Viticulture like your favorite game, or do you have?
Oh, I don't know.
Are you gonna pull something out from like the early '90s as your favorite game?
No, probably not that far. I haven't really been in like a heavy. I'm not really heavy gamer right now, anyways. But my family. It's probably only been a few years, really.
So, what was your gateway game? What was the game you played that was
probably like Carcassonne?
That wasn't like Sorry.
It was probably like Carcassonne,
and that brought you in.
Yep.
Yeah, Carcassonne was an early
one. We still
one.
have that copy.
Carcassonne was Ticket to Ride.
Ticket to Ride we don't like.
Catan.
Which is probably a no-no for everybody, but it's just so long.
Yeah.
With our kids' ages.
I
played that. we have it.
Yeah, no, I mean, Ticket to Ride is a very solid. There is my first Ticket to Ride. I haven't. I played the app version with my daughter, but we played it like a year ago, so she might have still been a little young. Maybe she was 6 and not 8. Maybe it was 2 years ago when we played it. She was still like, she was into it for a few rounds, and then like her attention just kind of
that's kind of the deals with my guys too, because it probably plays. We have 4. It probably plays over an hour, I bet.
Yeah, it can.
For Ticket to Ride.
It can.
But that is a good one, like if you want, to play like a light to medium. Light, I don't know if it's medium, but it's...
I guess depending if you got like a bunch of expansions that add a bunch of things.
But it's that probably is a good one. But I normally take like Carcassonne, or what else do we have in our collection? I don't know. I don't have this many for sure.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
that's not a bad thing.
We can, it doesn't matter to play them over and over. We like the games we hold on to,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm trying to think. King Domino.
King Domino's really good.
That's a good. That was probably one of the first ones we played.
King Domino is fantastic.
Those little small games, Splendor, like we talked about.
Splendor's really good too. Really solid. Have you guys tried Century Spice Road?
No, we haven't played that one. We played Istanbul, and it wasn't a favorite.
Sure. I have only played the dice version of Istanbul, and I was like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, I played it a few times, and that was it.
Sure.
It kind of depends on what my wife likes to play.
That helps. It goes a long way, man. It goes a long way.
She really likes this dice drafting game called Herbaceous Sprouts.
I've not even heard of that.
It was a Kickstarter.
Okay.
And you just dice drafting, and you're a gardener, and you put your sprouts in where you like make combos with your dice, and you put a sprout in the part of the garden that goes with it, and that's how you get points. It plays in like 30 minutes. We play that and photosynthesis.
Oh,
that's
sure.
A favorite.
I'm terrible at photosynthesis, but it is a nice looking game.
That's probably a good gateway game because you have those trees.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It looks really nice on the table.
Yep. Have you played then Taverns of Tiefenthal? Have you heard of it?
Didn't you guys have that at M.E.E.P.L.E?
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
It just came out last year. It's like,
it's kind of like every time I see you guys.
It's hard to say no to play it, and that's one of the games. I taught my wife how to play that, and then like a week later, she's like, "Can we play that one game where we're in the tavern again?" I was like, "What? Like, please, like, let's play." There's dice drafting, and there's some deck building to it. There's some worker placement to it. There's a lot of mechanics to it, but it's very simple. Like, it sounds like a lot, but
I might check it out. I bet it'll be at M.E.E.P.L.E weekend.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'll check it out then.
It will be. It will be. You can always borrow my copy. I get you. You could borrow a copy of it from one of us.
I mean, we could sit down and play that Sprout game like a lot. We take it camping. It's a small. Sure. It's in a small box.
Oh, so perfect.
So you just throw in your camper, take it wherever.
There you go. We play a lot of like DC Deck Builder, because now DC Deck Builder, I love, but the theme is just pasted on. It could be anything. You know what I mean? Like it's
just a deck builder.
It's just a deck builder. But for whatever reason, like my brain, it just clicks, and I play it. I play it a lot. I can get my wife to play it. I will soon get my daughter to play it, like, because it's not that difficult, to wrap her brain around. And it could play and be done in 45 minutes, like half hour, 45 minutes. So there's a few like that where those are our go-tos. My wife does like Wingspan. She does like Viticulture.
My wife hasn't played Viticulture or Wingspan yet. So
oh, really? Do you think she'd like those?
I played them, but she hasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if she... I don't know. I don't know if she's even played a worker placement yet.
Have you played, like, going back to sort of like a lighter puzzly kind of game, have you played like Sagrada or Azul?
Sagrada, but she doesn't like Sagrada.
No?
She doesn't like all those dice or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Sometimes, it's like, you can like, you would think that somebody, like, you like X, Y, and Z. Why don't you like this? Just doesn't do it.
I don't know. So, we're working through them. Hey, work through what you like.
That's right. Does she like any of the games that you design?
She plays the main one we're working on is the Barnyard Grab one. So everything else is kind of on the back burner.
Gotcha. And she likes that one?
Yeah, I mean everybody likes that one. You know, no one's told me they don't. You know?
I know. I want you guys.
Maybe unless you have a heart condition. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but... no lie, man. I want you guys to make that game so bad so that I can buy a copy and play it all the time. Because my daughter will. That'll be the only bad thing is I'll be like, Ted, why'd you make this game, man? It's the only thing my daughter will play.
I do have another game that's pretty polished, and it's like you're a contractor, and it's kind of Splendor-ish, kind of.
With some,
there's not tokens.
So Splendor-ish, do you use poker chips or? No,
you use cards, but you're like filling your tool belt with certain colored cards to match a handyman you have to hire. So
right on.
We'll get to. I'll bring that one sometime.
Right on.
We'll check it out.
Stay tuned then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's one of my other ones that's pretty polished.
You're really close.
Yeah.
You're really close. Right on. See, I'm excited to have designers on. Get people of all stripes in here. And soon we will have published designers. Right?
Yeah. You should get Lucy in here. She's got stuff.
I know.
She's got stuff that's published.
Lucy she's like what?
She's amazing for sure.
She's like, I'm publishing like a game a year.
Yeah, that's what her goal is.
Yeah, and she does a lot of really great like family and kids and educational stuff. Like
she'll we meet every Thursday for our design group. She'll bring something new like every time. I'm like, where did this come from?
So jealous.
Oh, I had this in the...
So jealous.
I had this down in the storage area. I just broke it out. I thought you guys would like it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and Mallory even went over and sat and played one of her games. And yeah, she was like, oh, that was fun, and just... Yeah, Lucy's amazing. She's like great with kids. Her family games... she's got so much. She's so active and involved. She just has like a different motor, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
we're going nonstop.
We're gonna bug Lucy, get her on here sometime. Maybe I can get like you and Lucy, and then I'll just sit back and watch you guys talk and tell stories.
We could.
Because my wife's always like, "You talk too much on your show." I'm like, "Well,
it's your show.
It's my show. What do you want me to do?
Show,
what do you want me to do?" But that's all right, man. You got anything else? You got anything you want to hit before we go for the night?
I don't think so. I think we've covered a lot tonight.
We've covered a lot, but I kind of wanted to get an opportunity for you to or to get to know some of the games you like, some of the things you like. And then now I know, we've had this conversation, now I know, okay, Meet-Up, I need to bring this because I'm going to hook Ted in on this game. He likes that. Oh, we're gonna try this.
Most of my games I like are medium, and then I play light, of course, for the kids and stuff. Oh. I don't really play anything really heavy.
It's good, man. Viticulture, viticulture is kind of on the heavier side, though. There's a lot to viticulture. It's not hard. But there's you could really spend some time to get good at that.
Yeah, I guess.
There's a lot of strategy
going on.
There's a lot of strategy to viticulture.
I don't have that either. I'm buying it. I'm gonna buy it from somebody in the game group selling it. So
yeah, do that. Do that. Viticulture is really good.
Maybe I can hook my wife on that one then.
There you go. And then you kind of.
I don't know how it plays 2-player. Have you played it?
It plays fine 2-player. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it still plays good.
It's hard to find good 2-player games, really.
It is. It is. Taverns of Tiefenthal's good 2-player. Well, we'll get you a preview. You'll play it.
Okay.
You'll play it, and then you'll be like, okay. You'll then know yes or no. But yeah, Taverns is really good. Have you guys played Dice Forge? You ever heard of Dice Forge?
I've heard of it, but no, I haven't played that either.
Pick off your little ends of your die. Plug for the show. We have a review of Dice Forge. I will send Ted a link, and he can then look at it.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
And watch it
tonight. Nah, tomorrow night, maybe.
You just lied. Say yeah, I watched it. Just get on there long enough to give us a thumbs up, because that's the most important thing. Is even if you tune in for a minute. Now, if you're at this point in the video, you're at the end, and thank you. But always try to give us a thumbs up, so that way we know you're watching. You can always leave us a comment and say, hey, you guys are awful. Or, no, we like that. We want to see more of this or more of that, because we aim to please, really, right? So for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
And I'm Ted.
Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for watching Board Game Rundown. If you liked what you saw,
give us a thumbs up.
Hit subscribe.
And definitely ring that bell.